Facebook, welcome. Hope you're having a great morning. I know I am. I am here at Kyra's Bake Shop in Lake Oswego, joined by the lovely Kyra Basanich.
Hello.
You may recognize her because I'm sitting next to kind of a rock star in the food world. Basically, she is not just kind of a big deal, she is the big deal. 4-time winner of Cupcake Wars on Food Network. 1 time is awesome, twice is just phenomenal. 4 times, you're basically like the goddess of cupcakes. How did you do that?
We just have really creative different flavor combinations and pairings, and then the way we decorated it really impressed the judges. And I might add that we're doing this all gluten-free against regular cupcakes.
And that's where I'm going, because I mean, gluten-free, has the stereotype of not necessarily being as good as the regular, but you're killing it gluten-free. Before we go into that part, let's talk a little bit about the gluten-free. Why did you do an all gluten-free bake shop?
Well, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 20, and I spent years in and out of the hospital on steroids, on meds, did not feel well at all. I couldn't even stand upright, I was so sick. I couldn't get off the couch, and the doctors wanted to take out my intestines. And I said, before you do that, let me try going gluten-free to see if it reduces the inflammation enough that I do respond to the drugs and could start feeling better. So that was my impetus for actually going gluten-free in the beginning. And then I tried to find something that was delicious that I could eat, and there was not a whole lot out there at the time. This was a decade ago. And so I went to Easter school and I learned how to make it myself.
That right there is pretty an awesome story. And you've built, I don't want to say an empire, but it's getting there.
I'm on my way.
You're winning nationally televised shows, so I mean that's just phenomenal. And if you look at this bakery here, and I want to first off, Molly is our camera person. Say hi, Molly.
Hi.
Pan around real quick and just kind of showcase. We've got a lot of people here, and just a tremendous selection of stuff. So I mean, you're known as for your cupcakes, but that many more out there has all kinds of great samples and delicious stuff. I'm going to try it for lunch. And again, everything is gluten-free.
100%.
So, you don't have anything gluten. So, somebody who has celiac disease, has gluten sensitivity or Crohn's disease, they have no risk of cross-contamination. They can come here and be 100% safe, not have to worry about anything happening to them. Now, I also want to touch this, but I didn't realize is that you do wedding cakes as well.
We do. Yes.
Now, those are all gluten-free as well.
Everything.
How many people are doing that?
A lot. We're pretty much booked for this summer. So we're starting to take some bookings into September, October, and next summer.
And are you like one of the only bakeries that does gluten-free wedding cakes?
There's a couple others that do
there
that,
actually
but
are.
when we go to wedding shows, a lot of times even people who are not gluten-free will go sample all the wedding cake samples, and then they'll come back and say, "This is the best here."
That's good stuff. What I want to know though is, how do you make something gluten-free that's so delicious? How do you just break the mold on that? How did you do that?
Magic. I sprinkle magic in everything.
Magic. There, here, folks. We're in Hogwarts, and basically the house elves are gone. Kyra's doing it all. No more house elves. We have a delicious looking plate here. So tell me what I'm looking at. I'm about to just stuff my face with.
Well, let me premise this, and we'll do a close-up there, by saying that we switch our flavors each week. So each week we have a different assortment of cupcakes. We have one monthly cupcake, and this month it's the margarita, which is a vanilla cake filled with a key lime curd, topped with a tequila, lime, mascarpone, whipped cream, and then a salty sugar rim.
You had me at margarita.
Yeah. It's pretty good, and we had to do that for some good wine. We have our red velvet, which we'll be switching to pink velvet. Our dairy-free cupcake this week is the citrus cloud, which is an orange cake with a lemon toasted marshmallow meringue on top, and of course glitter, because clouds and magic.
Got a sparkle.
And then we have our German chocolate cake, which is chocolate cake filled with a coconut caramel pecan filling, a caramel Italian meringue buttercream, and then Belgian dark chocolate outside.
And this is the one we got. I got to showcase this one. This is the one everybody's talking about. Yes. This is a Cupcake Wars winner here, 4th time. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but explain this beauty here and how this one got you the prize.
So we have 5 winning cupcakes from this episode, and each week we're showcasing one of those cupcakes. So last week it was our Flavor Inspiration Challenge, and we're doing this in my ad in the order that we presented them to the judges. So this week we have our coconut 5-spice pineapple rum cupcake.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And I have to say, I've watched every episode. I was watching this last one live, like literally on the edge of my seat on a cooking show, pulling for you, obviously, but you came up with this stuff on the fly.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen the episode, I'm going to throw out a spoiler here, she won. But if you're familiar with the show, they have every round where they come up, at the very end, they have to make 1,000 of 3 types of cupcakes. In the middle of this challenge, not even at the beginning, at the middle of this challenge, they come and say, oh, here, by the way, come up with something new.
Yes.
And you just came up with this amazing flavor on the fly.
Right.
How?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I pulled it out of thin air. It was, and so that 5th flavor that you're talking about, that is our black pepper cake with a cherry balsamic jam filling and a black pepper whipped mascarpone frosting.
And see, it's not even just like plain. It's like, here's a chocolate cupcake, enjoy it, you jerks. You gave me this impossible thing. This is one of the most creative flavors I've ever heard of, and they loved it.
They loved it. Waylon Lucas, one of the judges, said it was literally the best cupcake she's ever had.
Well, and Florian is just tough. I mean, he's like the Simon Cowell of...
He's a teddy bear. I love Florian.
But, I mean, he just was gaga over your stuff. So that's going to feel good when these just phenomenal people in their own right are just gushing over your food.
Absolutely. It feels amazing.
How did you first get into Cupcake Wars? How did that first one happen?
Well, my husband, we were watching Cupcake Wars on TV. It was first season. We were sitting at home, and I was yelling at the camera. And I don't remember what the secret ingredient was, but I was yelling at whoever the contestant was because they had tried to, maybe it was coconut, and they tried to bury it behind all these other flavors, and cherries, and white chocolate, and black pepper, and black chocolate, and dark chocolate, all these things. And I said, are you crazy? I mean, it's fine to use it, but you want to really highlight that food and make it present in every element on that cake. And I was yelling at the TV, and my husband said, how do you go on this? Everyone says your stuff is better than any other cookie I've had, and you should compete. And I said, well, they would never take me. I don't have a brick and mortar retail store. At the time, they'd never had something gluten-free on the show. And he kept bugging me about it. I said, fine, and we're still watching TV. I pulled out the laptop. I sent off, this is how I type. I sent off my application. I looked it up, and I sent them some press clippings because I had done all the pastries for the Portland Opera, for Hansel and Gretel, and a couple other clips. And I said, you've never had somebody gluten-free on the show. And I want to show that my cupcakes can beat regular cupcakes. They're that good. And I think they called me within the hour. I was still watching TV. I moved on to whatever. Yes. And she said, oh, we think you're super cute. We want to see if you have any energy on camera. Can you send us a video? And I said, sure. And she said, can you send it by tomorrow?
Wow, no pressure.
Great, exactly.
So the way they are in the audition is how they are in the studio.
Yes.
Just like you throw everything at you.
Exactly. And there's always, I have learned that there's always going to be some sort of twist. Either it's throwing another cupcake at you or saying, oh, by the way, I have to have special effects in motion on your display or whatnot. But each time they throw a twist at you, it makes you more adaptable. It makes you think creatively. And it also, their purpose is to unsettle you so that you can be stressed out because that makes for good TV.
Exactly.
But it also forces you to just kind of dig deep and get wrong and, just be open to whatever's going on.
Which of the 4 victories means the most for you?
That's really hard to say. The very first victory meant so much because it was the first time somebody gluten-free had ever won the show, and we're eating regular cupcakes. So that was really, dear to my heart. And then I said I was never going to go back, and then they invited us back to champions, and we won the Madagascar episode, which was fine, but it wasn't nearly as exciting as that first one. The Barbie episode was our 3rd win, and that was in November of 2013, and that meant a lot just because I love pink and sparkly. If you can't tell, pink and sparkly.
Yeah, there's no idea here. Yeah.
You never would have guessed.
It's like they picked that theme just for you.
Right. And so, that one meant a lot too because it was our 3rd win, and that meant that we were one of 4 other bakers, or 3 other bakers, so 4 total, that had won 3 times. But this one is really important and special, because we got to create way over the top, very unique flavors and combinations, which is something that I really just love doing. Having that super, different and unique and exotic. I like to say it exotic, approachable. And nobody else has won 4 times. So we're the only people in the nation who've done that.
And that it must have really pulled on you, because I remember after your 3rd one, you're like, that's nice, I'm done, I'm good.
Yeah.
So, what did they use to lure you back?
They just, flattery. I'm so susceptible to flattery.
Flattery gets you everywhere.
It really does.
Yeah.
So, I had said I was done, and the show was off the air for 2 years.
Yeah, when they came back, it was...
Yeah. And the producer called, and we kept in touch because when they were casting Cupcake Wars kids and stuff, he would say, hey, just in case you know people, so I, let people whose children love to bake.
Yeah.
Hey, you should apply. Put a little button in here. So we kept in touch, and he called me and said, we need you to come back. And I said, oh, I'm so done. I don't want to, I'm over it.
I mean, it's going to be stressful.
Right. It's so stressful. And I think I get 10 more gray hairs each time. But he said, this one's best baker and you're one of our favorites.
How do you say no to that? Best baker ever. How do you say no to that?
And when we've done the others, we weren't in this new space yet. Usually they come film the roll-in package. And I thought, well, what better way to show off the new standard bakery than to do it on national TV? Now, they didn't end up doing the roll-in, but
it still gives you that exposure.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to notice a bump every time you do that show.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And right now they're having 4 episodes rerun of ours. So this past week, 4 of our different episodes were airing, and also the Cupcake Wars on the Cooking Channel is airing, and online, the Barbie episode lives there permanently for now.
So if you guys haven't seen her on Cupcake Wars, tune into Food Network and Cooking Channel because they are awesome, awesome shows. And just to see that creative mind at work is incredible. Because I mean, I got to think. Do you just stay up all night thinking up flavors? I mean, how do you not run out of ideas?
I don't know. I have so many ideas. I feel like it's really limitless in the way you can put different flavors together. And that's the part that I find most exciting and what I'm most passionate about in my job.
Okay, well, I am staring at this plate. I'm sorry? We have a question.
Oh,
okay, so what's the question out there in Facebook land?
Okay.
What gluten-free flours do you use in your cupcakes, and do you have a trick that keeps it from having a grainy texture?
All right, so just in case that doesn't go on the microphone, yeah, go ahead and repeat that.
So we just had a question wanting to know what gluten-free flours I use in my cupcakes, and how do I prevent my cupcakes from having a grainy texture? There's a couple different things. I'm going to separate that out. The first thing is we make our own flour blends. So we have a different set of flours that we use for scones and cinnamon rolls than what we use for cupcakes. And primarily, our cupcakes are white rice flour, potato starch, and tapioca starch. And we use a little binder, so for us it's the form of xanthan gum, unless it's... Oh yeah. Okay, sorry, I got sidetracked for a second. So to keep it from getting grainy, I think it's the same thing to keep a really moist cupcake. It's all about the fat. I know people don't want to hear that. Our cupcakes are lower sugar than most of their traditional counterparts, their traditional gluten-filled counterparts. So you can feel a little bit better about that. But if we're using butter, or if we're using Spectrum organic shortening, we whip that to incorporate a lot of air before we add the eggs and the butter, the eggs and the sugar and the flour blend, and that helps contribute to the texture and the rise and nice and fluff.
Okay, see, you know what? I just know I'm so out of my league here. I'm just gonna eat your stuff. I never try to make anything ever because that was just way over my head. But honestly, I mean, so those are the secret, folks. But don't try it yourself. Come here instead and have the cupcakes. Have everything. Which one should we try first? Okay, well, first though, I can't eat them all at once. I have a big mouth, but not that big.
What else are you doing right now? How are you feeling?
I am feeling hungry.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards this one.
Yeah.
This thing is.
That was almost the one I was going to suggest too. It's all sparkly on top.
Yeah, it's all sparkly. It's almost so pretty. I'm afraid to eat it. But here's the thing. I picked this as our first Facebook Live video because I was hoping I'd get to eat something. And yay. So I'm going to try
Let's just say if you leave here hungry, it's your own fault.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't leave here hungry. I'm going to do this and try not to make a mess of myself. But
One bite.
I'm going to do one bite and then probably several more.
Okay. That was a small bite.
Oh my God.
Caramel pecan. I don't know if you've gotten a hold of that yet.
Seriously, it's like they say, if I didn't know I was in a gluten-free bakery, I would have no idea that this was not just your standard cupcake. This is, oh my God.
You know, the first time I went on Cupcake Wars, I was really, really nervous because I was afraid that the judges would say, this gluten-free cupcake tastes gluten-free, it's terrible, get out of here. And I think that's what they expected to happen, but then they ate it and they said, oh my God, they had that same reaction.
Yeah.
And Candace said, oh, you're a goddess of baking.
Seriously, yes.
So it really validated and gratifying.
Honestly, I think there is magic involved in this because this is, the hardest part is going to put this down and try more. But Before we go to the next one, and I'm licking my fingers here, this is how good this is. What's your favorite cupcake that you've ever made?
Oh, that's like asking me what my favorite child is. Wow. Okay, so we have over 200 flavors. We recently pared down the list because it's too hard to count ingredients for everything, and then make sure the staff knows how to put it together and make sure the quality is there. So we have really narrowed it down to the most popular and/or my favorites. Some of which are the Food Network famous cupcakes. My favorites, gosh, this sounds really weird, but the chocolate curry caramel crush that we did for this Cupcake Wars, that will be in 2 weeks. Is amazing.
Come back for that in 2 weeks, folks. I saw it on the show. It looked amazing.
It's a dark chocolate curry laced cake, and it has a curry cayenne caramel sauce inside. And then we top it with a freshly whipped mustard cream. And it has that really light, something kind of pungent and astringent from the ginger, but then the really dark, mysterious flavors from the curry and the chocolate.
And that's the thing, is like there's these flavors that are just layered in there. I mean, there's all these subtleties. Like, I'm a guy who I like chocolate, you know?
Yeah.
When you have something like this, I mean, but when you have something that's really that fancy, you can lose stuff. And I mean, everything just shines through in this. It's amazing. It's really is stunning. But I gotta try something else just because I'm a child and I'm...
Do mine about it.
Okay.
So we're
Again,
going from
sparkles,
the darkest
folks.
to the
Look at the
lightest.
sparkles. It glitters. That's how you know it's magical.
And then I don't know if you can see the inside here, all the goodness that's inside.
I'm gonna have to work out extra hard today, but it's gonna be super worth it.
Well, this one's dairy free too, so you can feel good about it being really light.
This is dairy free.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Oh my god, this is seriously super light. And you see there's like some lemon in there? Or,
Yeah, lemon and orange.
I mean, it comes through so well, and yeah.
Okay, now moving on. I'm gonna make you take 2 bites of everything.
Because I'm eating a cloud.
That's why it's called dairy free citrus cloud.
Oh,
Yeah, you
there
nailed
you
it.
go. Oh my god, that is so good. All
So
right.
now we have our red
Red
velvet.
velvet.
Yeah, with cream cheese frosting.
Okay.
And I have to say, red velvet is not my favorite. Mostly it's just a buttermilk cake with 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder and some red food coloring. I really think it's all about the cream cheese frosting on top. But when we tried to do it redless velvet without the red food coloring, it just looks horrible.
Really?
Because people are so used
They're so
to
trained to that red velvet.
Yeah.
Okay, we just need to point the camera over there at that cake right there. We're just going to show that real quick. Because, again, just a beautiful work of art. These are the wedding cakes
And
we
that's
had.
Kenzie. She's our head of the cake department and our lead event coordinator.
Say hi without dropping the cake.
It's like, it's a fake cake.
It just shows the artistry because you have some
This
delicious
one's one of my favorites. Yes, I
delicious
love this
food,
one.
but the artistry there is just amazing. Any bride would be ecstatic to have that as their
Yes.
gift. That's just beautiful. And it's one of the things I love about what you do here is the marriage of art with cooking.
Yes.
They're one and the same. It's not like a battle. It's just you create these phenomenal works of art that are almost a shame to eat. I'm going to eat them, but it's almost a shame to eat them.
I just feel like people shouldn't have to suffer with an ugly cake or a depressingly dry cake on their wedding or celebration. You know, our goal is really to provide a place where people, everybody could come and be happy with what we're getting. And it would please anybody, whether they have a food allergy or not.
I'm happy. And again, it's like you have no idea you're eating gluten-free, but I'm going to try this, the red velvet.
Okay, I'm moving on. I don't want you to get full before you get to the last 2.
That frosting is fantastic.
Margarita, tequila lime, key lime curd, vanilla. Make sure you get the key lime curd
Margarita,
in the middle.
yes. Gotta make sure I get to the middle, folks.
It's been in
So
the
big bites.
refrigerator case because the key lime curds might be a little bit drier.
Oh.
Refrigeration does.
Again, this is so moist. I mean, it's something you don't normally expect, and it's phenomenal.
There's really salt in that red. Tastes like a margarita.
This is perfect for Cinco de Mayo, or every day, ever.
It's a nice light flavor as the weather
Yeah.
starts turning and getting really warm.
And that's the thing. I mean, all these cupcakes have been so light. I mean, I should be full, and instead I'm going to eat like 4 more. But
I like it.
okay, this is the one I've been wanting to try. This is the winner here.
Yeah, so this is a coconut 5-spice cake filled with a 5-spice ginger cinnamon pineapple cocoa, topped with a 5-spice rum buttercream and edged in toasted coconut.
Okay, so this should have a nice little spicy bite to
It
it.
should.
Yes. And oh my god, the coconut is just nicely toasted. Oh my god. That is so good. I can see why she wins.
You know, it's really interesting.
Oh my god.
The first time we went on, I thought I was being so creative, and I think I did an apple cranberry cupcake as my very first cupcake, cranberry apple cider. And I thought that was really unique and outside the box. And I started thinking about having at least 3 dimensions of flavor, especially when I go into the competition setting, so that there's the coconut, there's the 5 spices, the rum, there's the pineapple. More is better, but only if you get them to blend well. And so that's kind of the mindset that we use when we go on those competitions.
And that's the thing, is you create these layers of flavors, they don't compete with each other. They go together really well, and you taste them all, and it creates this just amazing experience. I've never had cupcakes like this. I'm going to move in. So before we go, let everybody just salivate a little bit longer. Tell them how to get here, what your hours are, and everything.
We're located in downtown Lake Oswego on the corner of 6th and A, right that main street. And our hours are Sunday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Friday and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we have cocktails and all sorts of savory stuff too. So if cupcakes is not your thing, we have something for you.
They can give you the whole round because they have these amazing sandwiches, they have soups, all kinds of stuff, and again, gluten-free. So you get your lunch, then you get your dessert. I mean, because what is a meal without dessert?
Right, of course.
It's a fail.
Yeah.
So, Kyra, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. This has been delicious.
Thank you.
I'm going to finish these off camera, so I won't have to worry about being quite as neat. I probably got some crumbs in my beard
No,
now.
you're good.
So, Facebook Land, thanks for joining us. I am Jared, the social media guy from Mountain View Territory with Kyra Masanich at Kyra's Bake Shop. Come check it out and get just your hearts and your stomach filled with some of the most amazing cupcakes you'll ever enjoy. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.